in this boxing segment, as we now have one of the biggest accomplishments that many didn't live to see. Many thought it was impossible. Never happened since I was born. But officially, we can sit here on a new day in boxing and in the sports world culture and say that we have definitively a brand new, and I do mean brand new, undisputed, undefeated, unquestionable, baddest man on the planet and heavyweight champion of the world. There is only one, and that one is Alexander Usyk. And what did I tell you? Let me tell you something right now. I'm not one to brag, but I'm clapping my own self. I'm clapping for my own self. I called it. Nearly right down to how the punch for punch went about. I was right. Thank goodness. And again, if I was wrong, hey, great. Upsets happen in my estimation. We would love to see what that storyline would have been, but didn't happen. I got it right. I called it. And I said that Usyk would beat this brother. Usyk was going to be something more than Tyson Fury had ever faced in his career. And this was going to be the man to finally be born from his mother, as Tyson Fury loves to say. He said he would never be beat by anybody that was born. Well, now, look at what happened. Now we got somebody who has beaten you, who has conquered the unconquerable, who has defeated the seemingly insurmountable mountain of a man and of talent that was Tyson Fury. And Usyk stands alone as not just the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, but definitively is now going to be seen as the best boxer of this generation. There is nobody, and I mean nobody, on the level of Alexander Usyk in the heavyweight division. It's definitive. This man, again, we're going to break down the fight, absolutely. But the ramifications of this definitively sets that Usyk is indeed the best heavyweight in the world, for not just of right now, but for this generation of boxing, for this era of boxing that had Tyson Fury, that had AJ, that had Wilder, that had Andy Ruiz, that had Luis Ortiz. Usyk now is able to stand alone as the defining embodiment of what this era was, the pinnacle, the king, the true ruler of this era and this generation of heavyweight boxing. We said it would never happen. We said this fight wouldn't go about, but now that we finally got it, Turkish Al-Sheikh made it happen, threw enough money to where Tyson Fury could not refuse. All the antics, all the banter, all the left, right, and center craziness that was surrounding this entire scenario that we thought would never happen. Now it's come to grips. We have to come to grips with the fact that we can sit here and say that we have one and only one heavyweight champion. Nobody else. No other belt holders. No other title contenders. No other people that have laid into that have rightful claim to the crown outside of one man. That one man is Alexander Usyk. How in the world did this man accomplish this incredible feat? Well, let's break down how this fight went about. And this went about in a very interesting way, because on both sides of the coin, for both Tyson Fury and Usyk, both of them did exactly what I said would need to be done on their fronts in order for them to be successful and win the fight. And it was essentially who would do their due diligence to implement their game plan better. Tyson Fury did everything I said that he needed to do in order to win this fight. And mind you, give credit where credit is due. This was the best Tyson Fury I had seen in my life. I would definitively. This indeed was the best. This was the best. I know I'm overusing the sound, but for this situation, it's applicable. Because we were saying when after Francis Ngannou, this was going to be a cakewalk for Usyk. At least that's what I was saying. Other people were saying, oh, nah, that was a fluke. I was saying, no, this shows full well that Tyson Fury is nowhere close to what we've seen from Alexander Usyk. Maybe even against AJ, what we see now with the renewed AJ. My gosh, this man would never get back to what we thought he could be. But now, with the loss in weight, with the best physique that I saw him at in his career, he performed the best that I've seen. Better than Klitschko, better than how we did against Deontay Wilder, better than any of his other performances. This was the best Tyson Fury I had seen to date. And it was sublime from what we saw from him. And I had been saying that he is a good heavyweight with elite size. On this night, he fought like a great heavyweight. He did. There's no taking away from him. He fought like a great heavyweight with elite size. That is something I never thought he would elevate to. because I knew what he was capable of, but only up to the moniker of a good level. Good footwork, good jab, good head movement. But at that height, again, elite height with good skills is incredibly hard to beat for 90% of the populace in boxing. It is indeed. Absolutely. And like I said, you match him in one element, hey, now you got him. That's what I've been saying about Tyson Fury. Rightfully so. But now he showed me something. Okay, this is the best Tyson Fury. This is the real Gypsy King that he had been touting as and been showing as, yeah, I'm the best in the world. This is the brother that I've been waiting to see from Tyson Fury to prove to me that you are indeed an elite level skill set competitor. We know as a boxer as a whole, yes, you are elite. Again, second best in the world. But in terms of your skills, I said they were good on the level, on the level of good for the majority of your skill set. Coupled with elite size, now you become a real threat to anybody. But now he proved to be a great heavyweight. This brother, he was able, after losing the first 3 rounds, in my estimation, to Usyk, who was being aggressive, who wasn't getting on the front foot, who was being somebody who was forcing the issue on Tyson Fury and coming forward, applying the pressure even when he wasn't throwing punches. When those middle rounds came about, we saw Tyson Fury take hold and do everything that I asked for. Everything that I asked for. Everything, which was ridiculous. Usyk, again, we'll go round by round. First 3 rounds, Usyk came out incredibly aggressive, was attacking the body of Tyson Fury consistently, was scoring shots. And forget going to the head all the time. Forget trying just to land a single one-shot blow. Attack the wide midsection of Tyson Fury. Even though it may not do much damage, it will get you ahead in points because the activity is going to be something that will let you not only apply pressure, let you get in range, let you be able to get comfortable with finding a rhythm, and as well, in the judge's eyes, give you credence to say, oh, this man is landing stuff. It may not be damaging, but it is significant. It is consistent, and consistent scoring is always the best way to make sure that you can find your rhythm and make sure that you're up on the cards. That's what Usyk did for the first 3 rounds. Was able to close the distance. Was able to attack with whatever real estate was available. Didn't just go for headhunting like we've seen with other opponents. And he was able to win, in my estimation, the first 3 rounds from that consistent pressure and that consistent willingness to attack the body and take what was given to him. But in round 4, we saw Tyson Fury then turn it on and implement the best game plan I could see going up against Usyk. Attacking the body and landing that uppercut, that sneaky uppercut, the uppercut that he knocked out Dillian White with, the uppercut that he's hurt a lot of other opponents with, the uppercut that he would land on the inside with Deontay Wilder. Land that uppercut on Usyk as he's ducking down and coming inside, timing him when he closed the distance. Tyson Fury did that after round 4 for the rest of the fight. Found the punch that was giving him the best success and continued to catch him and hurt him multiple times. Was really rocking this brother on top of going to the body, letting that power really go to Usyk. Because at first it was more so, okay, the jab and the length of Fury was making it hard for Usyk to be able to get on the inside. Understand him. But then he wasn't putting anything behind the shots. He wasn't putting anything behind his punches. It was more so using the length to get Usyk uncomfortable. But then after round 4, he started really applying the power and the weight and all 260 of his frame to Usyk and made him feel it. Really did. And you saw it. He was wincing. He was affected. He was having success and causing Usyk to get wary. And from that uppercut, what did he do? He made Usyk get privy to what? Again, repetition. He trained him. Like we've seen with a dog, when you give him a treat after doing a certain action, now he always expect it. He always expect it, and they do the same thing in order to get the same treat. That is what Fury did to Usyk. kept on attacking that body round after round, applying the power, making him feel the weight, making him feel the physicality, and legitimately giving him some trouble. I was getting concerned because that body attack was consistent from Fury when he turned it on, and he, in terms of Usyk, wasn't able to adapt. On top of, with the body attack of Fury scoring and winning him rounds in those middle rounds, we saw the head movement and the footwork of Fury didn't really get to full effect. We saw him be able to reset in the ring multiple times. We saw him be able to, again, time Usyk with that uppercut and shots to the body and get out of dodge and be able to, again, showboat, get crazy. Like we know Tyson Fury can be when he feels that he's got you where he wants you. This was, again, the best Tyson Fury I had seen. And with him in this fight, everything compounded on this success, which that was supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. We saw Tyson Fury build a game plan and implement it. Let Usyk get comfortable. Again, trying to adapt and not get hit, understandable. But once he, in terms of Tyson Fury, found his distance and understood where Usyk was able to land, all of a sudden we saw Usyk not having as much success in those middle rounds and was continuing to get outboxed. Which is something that I said that Usyk would not let happen. Usyk is the better boxer. Usyk is the better technician. Usyk is the better fundamental strategist in this fight. With him training like Lomachenko, with them from that same kind of pedigree, having the ability to have incredible footwork, great slipping, great angles, be able to cut off, and again, be able to make it so that you can't get away. Like we saw with Usyk, stalk and walk, because Fury's footwork wasn't able to get him out of just completely of range. What we did see was Fury having the ability to, even though he couldn't escape Usyk Fury, was able to keep a distance to the point that he would be able to react to whatever Usyk was throwing and have success on his own end. Again, the taunting wasn't for nothing. It's because he said, okay, I got you now. I know what I need to do. I know where I need to be. Even though I may not be able just to get away from you entirely. I know what I need to do and where I need to be in this distance management game that you're trying to pull so that you can't hit me, but I can continue to score on you. And the damage started to accumulate. Everything started swaying to Tyson Fury in those middle rounds. From rounds 4 to about round 7, it was off here. It was off here. Round 6 hurt Usyk twice, again, with that uppercut. Was having some real concerns with whether or not Usyk would be able to turn it around, because all of a sudden it seemed like Fury had figured out what he needed to do, had gotten the distance to where even when Usyk would close in for those combinations, he would only whiff. It would be just out of reach to where he couldn't land. Whether it was the pawing jab or the jab game that Usyk was trying to play, we would see Fury again go in and land that uppercut constantly, catching him, hurting him, wobbling him, making him wary, changing the trajectory of his uppercut from a body shot to a shot to the head, making it so that Usyk didn't really know what was coming. Would catch him in between combinations when Usyk would come and get really aggressive, or when he would begin his onslaught. It would be lull him to the ropes, let him come in, let him commit, and then boom, catch and step all at the same time. It was phenomenal work by Tyson Fury. A phenomenal game plan that was working and was, for me, at minimum tied it up, or at least up until round 7, had it down to 1 round to where it was that tight. However, next thing we know, we see at the end of that round, and for the rest of this fight, Usyk switched gears. We've talked about this with other fighters. Talked about this with other competitors. On this channel specifically, Terrence Crawford, Inoue, David Benavidez, Canelo Alvarez. We've talked about boxers who have a 6th gear, the ability to go and step to another level, even when they're already at 100%. Another elevation in their skill set that other boxers just don't have. Teddy Atlas said it best, just finding a way to win. It's more than that. For me, it's more than just finding a way to win. It's the ability to adapt and evolve mid-fight beyond the way that we thought would be possible. That's what Usyk's got. That's what Terrence Crawford has. That's what Benavidez has. That's what Canelo has. Sure enough, that's what Usyk's got right now. He showed it. He showed it. We saw it at the end of that round, in round 7. Amped up the pressure. Many people didn't notice it. I did. This brother went and all of a sudden finished strong in the round when it seemed like Fury was having all the momentum. Eventually, Usyk went and said, okay, it's time for me to really work. Now it's time to go. And Usyk, that brother went from round 8 on, amped up his offensive output for the rest of the fight. Instead of attacking second and reacting to what Tyson Fury was going to do and reacting to the feints and reacting to what potentially the herky-jerky style that we've seen from Tyson Fury for years, which again he brought back to in this fight and was making Usyk uncomfortable, which is why he was able to score, which is why he was able to land that jab and time Usyk when he would use his head movement whenever he got back to center, pop every single time. Because he was always with that herky-jerky style, with that ability to, again, you don't know what's coming. All of a sudden, bam. I know when you're going to reset. That was Tyson Fury. Now, Usyk, forget trying to react to what you're going to do to me. Now, you have to react to what I'm doing. Stand the other way around. And he went and attacked first. He went and instead of waiting for Fury to make a move, he made a move instead. He was the one that emptied the pressure. He was the one that used his speed and his combination punching to make Fury not be able to catch him with one-shot punches anymore, which is what he was killing him with the entirety of the night. It was Fury would throw 1 to 3 shots. If it was the body attack, he would throw 1 to 3. If it was the uppercut, he would throw one and then get back out of dodge and then lull out that jab. He stopped that uppercut for with two things, with aggression and changed the way that he blocked. He got privy to the uppercut and instead of trying to just slip it, instead of trying to just dodge it and continually getting caught with it, this brother instead went for, again, a Philly shell, somewhat of a Philly shell. Block down here, forearm, block the body. Oh, no, excuse me, he is, what is he? No, he went this way. Forearm block the body, lead arm block the head, and he would essentially duck into the punch, making it so that this bearing on this side of his guard was essentially block and negate it. So even if he went to the body, it's there. If he went upstairs, guess what? You can't get up under this. Under this. There's nothing you can do. And he would lean into it. And that's how he stopped that uppercut. That's how he stopped it. That's something I didn't even think of. But he did it. He changed the way that he blocked. And instead of trying to slip the punch and slip the uppercut, he went into the uppercut. Made it so that he smothered it. He did what Tyson Fury does with his other opponents. Smothered the offense of Fury. To then be able to, once he got back out, or once he, again, with Fury, once he threw the punch and then went to step out, following him out with the same punch combination, would throw 2 jabs, or would throw 2 right hands back to back, would follow him out of all of his exit angles, instead of just throwing a shot and trying to stalk him down. On top of the fact that for the entirety of the fight, his superior footwork in Usyk was stalking and walking Fury down to make it so that, again, he couldn't escape, like I said earlier. Keeping that constant pressure on him. And then he changed the way that he threw his combinations so that he would be able to land. Instead of just throwing the straight right jab, left straight, he would then follow him out with it. With a looping hook. With doubling up on the shots. To make it so that you were going to feel my power in my offense when you get to the ropes. You're never going to be just safe in any given situation. That's what Usyk said in the night before the fight. When he was asked what you're going to do. I'm going to be on you all night long. That's what he said. Again, paraphrase. And he proved it. He did just that. Then afterwards, round 8, goes and ups the offense, stops the uppercut, and breaks the nose of Fury. Catching him with, a looping hook. Breaks the nose of Fury. Has him, now you're in real trouble. Then round 9 happens, and the best round of the fight for Usyk happens, and he knocks him down. Knocks the brother down. Gets the brother nearly off his feet. Within the last 30 seconds of the fight. After he upped the aggression. After he stopped the uppercut. After he was attacking first. After he made sure that Fury's feints weren't affecting him anymore and caused Fury to be the one to react to everything. Then, what did he do? Slip on the inside of his jab instead of slipping on the outside. Threw a jab, threw an overhand. The same punch that caught Fury when it was against Cunningham, the same punch that's given him trouble against smaller opponents, was the same punch that put him in trouble again. Against a middleweight, Fury's words, against somebody who was incredibly smaller, against somebody who's 30 pounds lighter than somebody like Fury, even with him cutting weight. This was what Fury said would never happen. Too light to punch, too light to have any power, too small to be able to really affect him. Wasn't the case. Caught him with a looping hook. Right smack in the face. Had that brother on Easy Street. Had that brother on Dream Street. Had that man on skates for the last 30 seconds of that round. And to be perfectly honest, the fight could have been stopped right there. The fight could have been stopped right then and there. There would be no qualms if you stopped that fight. Because for 30 seconds straight, Usyk was able to unload on Tyson Fury, and Fury had no defense whatsoever. Literally got ping-ponged from the ropes to the left corner, back to the right corner, back to the left corner. Did not defend a single thing. He couldn't get out the way. He was off. He was out. He was out. He was out like we saw him out against Deontay Wilder. But instead of it being on the ground, it was on his feet. And if it should have been, a knockdown was called, especially when he got sent to the red corner. And Usyk caught him with a 1-2 that was lightning quick and really stumbled that brother, almost had him dropping. That should have been where the knockdown really happened. But in any point in that 30-second span, it could have been called a knockdown. And if anything, could have been called a knockout. Because there was nothing, no defensive awareness on the side of Fury. He was showing you nothing that he was prepared to continue this fight. It could have been, and honestly, should have been called a knockout. We could have really been saying, there's a real argument that this should have been called a knockdown. Not knockdown, a knockout. That the fight should have ended in round 9. Would have been completely fine with it. Because there was no answer from Tyson Fury. The worst I have ever seen Tyson Fury out on his feet since Deontay Wilder. And we've seen him be able to recover. We've seen him out. We haven't seen him gone. This was gone. This was gone. Only comparable to Deontay Wilder when he got knocked down and what we thought was a knockout, but got back up. That was it. In an inhuman feat of heart and ability to take a punch. But what did I say was going to be the biggest thing in this fight that people didn't talk about? The loss in weight could be the very thing that stops the shock absorber. Because against all your other fights, again, outside of Cunningham, you would face bigger punches than Cunningham. You would face stronger punches than Cunningham. You've been hit flush. You had. And only by the best punchers in the world, Wilder and Ngannou, when you hit your prime, you had gotten put on the canvas with. Only the best in the world that would knock out anybody in any era. But against somebody like Usyk, the shock absorber with you losing all that weight, we hadn't, there's a real argument, we hadn't seen him that dazed and that much out of it. Even against somebody like Deontay Wilder. And the 3 knockdowns that he had put on him by Wilder. Against the knockdown with Francis Ngannou. Never been that hurt before. This was a different level of being out on your feet. He was indeed out on his feet. There was the weight, the shock absorber of the body, being 270, sometimes 280, works in the favor. Now that it was gone, all of a sudden you couldn't take the punch. You couldn't take the power if you didn't land clean flush. It was ridiculous. But it's exactly what I thought would happen. Hence the power, the underrated power of Usyk would be something that would affect you because of the fact that you thought he was too small. You went and took off too much. And you got put in the worst case scenario possible. The game-changing round in the fight. When the biggest reason why that happened, not just because of the perfect punch placement by Usyk, not just because of the adaptability, but also because of that weight cut. The shock absorber was no longer there. That would have allowed for you to take a punch like that and keep on going, not be nearly as severely hurt. Not saying, hey, potentially couldn't have happened the same way, but I am saying I do understand that would have, the extra weight would have definitely helped you from being put in that much of a dangerous situation where you arguably should have gotten stopped outright. And the fight should have ended right then and there. But again, it's Tyson Fury. What is he? We've seen this brother get up from what seems like insurmountable odds. You get the ref gives him the benefit of the doubt. 8 count in the corner as he collapses in the corner. like Goliath falling to his knees. And just look, oh my gosh. It was ridiculous watching that. Gets up round 10, 11, and 12, all Usyk, all domination, all continued pressure, all just outright outclassing at that point. Because Usyk had him. He had him. He had him and he didn't let him go. Even with Fury, again, doing work, coming on strong, at least in that 12th round. Giving me a legitimate scare. I thought he had caught Usyk again and putting him in a situation where Fury, hey, he might get a knockdown. He might hurt him and he might actually be able to knock him out because, again, he's got the power to do so. We saw him rock Usyk multiple times. Turns out it didn't happen. Stayed on his feet, stayed aggressive, was able to win this fight and become the undisputed heavyweight champion to win in an absolute barn burner of a fight. Absolutely incredible. It was insane to see. It was insane to see.